Hello everyone and welcome back, and today we're going to carry on with the next character recorded in the Hebrews 11th chapter of a faithful patriarch. And today we're going to be talking about the character Gideon. So we see Gideon, we understand, his character intertwines quite very much as a faithful character. But before we see what Gideon's remarkable actions were, we're going to first see how Gideon intertwines with basically Israel's history, we should say. So we have to see that Israel's history from the time of the division of Canaan until the anointing of Saul, we understand, to be their king, is called the period of Judges, we understand. These judges, we see, were evidently elected, were elected to be in this position elected to these positions by God's grace, This type of arrangement led the people continually to look to God for their helpers and leaders. Through these men, God continued his personal government of Israel, we could say. The choices of the judges is an illustration of his will. We could put it out like that, because the judges are basically, we could say, carrying out God's will, we can say. So we can now see that Gideon, how he comes into this story. So we see now Gideon, marked in Hebrews 11th chapter, we can understand is the next person in the list of judges. Is the next judge, So in the Hebrew 11th chapter, he is mentioned as one of the faithful patriarchs, and he's listed as the next judge. So we understand a man of natural nobility who was appointed by God as Israel's next judge, we understand. Because of the evil that the people had done, though, the Israelites in this period of time when they were judges, is in the sight of the Lord, they had been delivered into the hands of the Midianites, we understand. God would send an angel to speak to Gideon, to inspire him as his appointed deliverer from the hands of their oppressors. Their account tells us in Judges book 7th chapter that Gideon was to assemble an army to go against the Midianites, we understand. At first, the army was over 22,000 people, which might seem quite a lot, but we can see overall that when God said that the amount was too high itself for an army, eventually that number went down to just 300 people. So Gideon and his 300 soldiers then had been given no arms, but now he gave each one a trumpet, a lamp, or a torch, we understand, and an earth pitcher. So it is doubtful, though, if any other army in the history of mankind has been equipped in this manner, we can say, with no artillery or weaponry, but just a trumpet, a lamp, a torch, and an earthen pitcher. Although the record does not say so, it is likely that Gideon's methods of fighting and plan of attack were directed by the Lord, furnishing them with their weapons, we can understand. Gideon, we see, separated the 300 people into 3 groups, deploying them on the sides of the hills surrounding the hosts of the Midian encamped, where the Midians encamped, we can see, in the valley below. So each side, they have surrounded them, we could say. So the army in this situation were around them, and he had then deployed them in such a manner as to virtually surround them, like I said, surround the camp of the Midianites, we should say. Ordinarily, only the captains of the army would be sounding trumpets and carrying torches, we understand. And for the Midianites to hear 300 trumpets sounding and 300 flickering torches surrounding them on all sides would certainly give the impression they were being attacked by a tremendous army. And the fear and panic for this Midianite camp, we can say, spread through the ranks of the enemy, as the Midianites attacked each other as they tried to flee from this situation, we see. And Gideon is in this situation, had claimed his victory for the plan that he had put in place to basically be delivered from the hands of these oppressors, we should say. And ultimately, we can understand, because of Gideon's actions in this situation, we see Gideon is one of the most humblest and at the same time ablest statesmen of the Bible. When the angel of the Lord first spoke to him, he explained that he was at the least of the Father's house, and he maintained the spirit of humility, we understand. He heard the Midianites use the expression itself, the sword of Gideon, for his actions in this war, we could say, or attack, where he used technicality to beat the enemy, we could say. But when instructed, when he instructed his little army, or the 300 soldiers, to use this as a battle cry, he added the Lord's name and put it first, because Gideon was a humble person and he understood the true grace, support and faith that God had provided Gideon to allow this victory to come upon Israel. As we see that Gideon changes the battle cry to be the sword of the Lord and of Gideon, we could see. And because of his complete obedience with God's words, he saved the Israelites from the enemies and to see the protection of the Almighty ultimately. And so ultimately we understand once again a beautiful character. Because of Gideon's humbleness, faith and understanding towards God, he was able to follow God's instructions in the correct way, succeed and still stay humble and faithful towards God. And because of that, he's one of the ablest and most statesmen of the Bible. So I'll see you in the next week's video. Bye.